A group of women and children marches through the streets of Gulu. 10 years ago, the Ugandan government allowed primary schools to educate students from P1 to P3 in their mother tongue. But today, most primary schools still teach their youngest pupils in English. The NGO LABE wants the government to recommit, simply because mother tongue education gives better results. This is one of the schools in the Amuru district that benefits from a program of LABE to educate young pupils in their mother tongue, in this case, Acholi.
It doesn't mean that when we are teaching the local language, we don't touch teaching English. No. We teach English when it is time for teaching English as English. But when it is time for any other learning areas, we make sure that we teach in the local language, so that we make sure the pupils understand much more better.
In Uganda, many parents look down upon education in the mother tongue. They think their children will be inferior to other children if they visit a school where teachers teach in the mother tongue. But still, mother tongue is better.
To make them be very free to learn, because the thing may not appear to them very new. It is what they hear, what they see, that is where they also begin to develop their learning. So it makes them very free to learn, and it also makes them very free to participate.
At the conference that was organized by the NGO LABE, scientists confirmed that it is better if a child for the first few years is taught in the same language he speaks at home.
Well, I think it's actually vital for the child that he uses his first language, because he thinks in his first language. And if you try and teach him new concepts, new ideas in a language which he doesn't yet understand, then all he will do is just memorize the language, memorize the words. He won't actually understand the concept. But if you can teach him in his first language and explain the concept in his first language, then he will understand it.
People want their children to speak English.
Yes, well, they will speak English. If you look at Ugandans have some of the best English speakers I met in Africa. Most of the middle-aged and older Ugandans started their education either in their first language or in Luganda. And then from P4 or P5 they started learning English, and their English is excellent. So the evidence is strong that if you can start your education in the language you know, at a certain stage you can switch to English when you've already mastered the language.
A good example is Maria Achan. She went to school when she was an adult. She is happy that her lessons were in Acholi.
If you look at literacy rates in, say, P4 or 5, when children have gone through only English medium, you're getting literacy rates of around 20%. Whereas once you get into the local language, then you're finding most of the teachers who've been involved in thematic are continually saying how the child is learning to read in the first year or the second year.
Mother tongue education is only from P1 to P3. From P4 and onwards, education is in English.
It means that the child knows two languages concurrently. He or she can also speak the local language fluently, can also speak English very well. So the whole thing goes concurrently. But the first thing is that learning must begin from home. That is the local language.
LABE has organized a conference to launch a new mother tongue education project.
There are a number of activities involved in this project. One is increasing awareness so that parents, policy makers, are aware and appreciate the role of using mother tongue as medium of instruction. Because people are still skeptical, will our children learn when they are learning mother tongue? And for us, we are saying yes, because it has been researched and documented that children who learn through their mother tongue learn faster and enjoy the learning process.
A representative of the Ministry of Education and Sports explained during the conference why so little has happened during the past 10 years.
The private sector did its part. They wrote, they printed and delivered to schools. Come to payment, some districts said there was no money. Some districts paid booksellers ran out with the money. They didn't pay the publishers.
Apart from corruption, the ministry is also lacking money to pay for local language education. The ministry is happy with NGOs that fill the financing gap. LABE helps schools in 6 northern districts to teach children in the mother tongue. LABE helps illiterate parents to go to school and produces school books in the local language. The parents learn to read and write so they can also stimulate their children.
If you're teaching a child how to buy a mango, how to sell a mango, how much it's going to cost if he buys 3 mangoes and 2 oranges in his own language, you'll immediately understand, and he'll be able to probably give you the answer in terms of price, because he knows those subjects and it relates to him his own home. Do the same process in English, and he probably won't even understand what you mean by 3 and 5.
We are also referring to the research done earlier that indicated that children who are graduating at primary 4 with no skills, they could not read, they could not write their own names. And the reason is that they were instructed the language they were not understanding.
At the conference that LABE organized in Gulu, there were LC5s and other representatives of local governments. By putting their signature, they promised to recommit themselves to financing of mother tongue education in their districts.
The reason why we made them sign is that we would like them to use their positions and raise money for mother tongue education, because they will need to buy books, readers for their children in class, in school. They'll be able to do an advocacy to convince the community, to convince the parents that mother tongue works.